Shalom. Shalom, Israel. I give all glory and praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And today's lesson will be on humility and bringing yourself low, you know, because we read in the scriptures, many places in the scriptures that tell you about humility and how Yahweh Shai came down and he sat with the poor, man. He sat with the lame. He sat with the people who couldn't walk. Like he said, the first shall be last and the last shall be first, right? So it's about submitting yourself, submitting ourselves to each other. It's about submission, man. It's about humility. So I'm gonna just get a few scriptures on that today. The first one I want to get is in the book of Proverbs, of course, right? I'm gonna get a couple in Proverbs. The first one, Proverbs 11 and verse 2. When pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. Right? So when you prideful, your destruction is right around the corner. Even the book of Proverbs tell you that pride goeth before destruction, right? So when pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. The lowly is wise, man, because they, you able to gain a greater level of understanding if you just be quiet and listen, if you just make yourself humble and just make yourself low and just learn. Some brothers too prideful to learn, and then when that time come, that everybody see their shame, man. Their shame is out there, But with the lowly is wisdom. You're a wise man if you humble, man. If you can make yourself humble to a teacher or to a ruler or to a king, right? I want to get another one in Proverbs 29. Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 23. We're talking about humility. Proverbs 29 and 23. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. Once again, right? With the lowly is wisdom. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. You're gonna be honorable in that day, man. And the Lord is smiling upon people who know how to make themselves humble and who know how to submit. Honor shall uphold the humble in spirit, right? You're gonna have a rich spirit, man. You're gonna seem a little bit upbeat. You're gonna seem a little bit brighter. Your light gonna shine brighter than other people, cause you humble, man. Honor shall uphold the humble in spirit, man. That's a beautiful verse right there. So let's go to the book of James. Let's go to the book of James, because he touched on it too. The Lord's brother, right? James, the book of James chapter 10. Salakia. The book of James chapter 4 and verse 10. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. Right? It don't get no more simple than that. It don't get no more simple than that. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up, man. And you be humble to the Most High God first and foremost. That's the first deity you humble to. That's the only God we humble to, man. We have no other God before the Most High God, Yahweh. In the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Right? But we humble ourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. That's all it takes. Right? I want to get another one. In the book of Matthew. Matthew 11 and verse 29. Matthew 11 and 29. I'm going to read verse 30 as well. It says, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek. This is Yahweh Shai talking. He said, I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. Now think about this, brothers. Think about how Yahushua, think about the power he got, man. Think about how he could zap your ass and you could just disappear, right? Think about how he could just utter some words and you fall out and give up the ghost. Don't think for a second that the Lord wasn't aware of his power, man. That's what made him humble in the first place. He understood what his message was and what his goal was, man. And he had a purpose. That's what made him humble. And he sat once again, he sat with the lame. He sat with the people who couldn't walk and had disabilities, and that's our king, man. And don't forget, Yahushua washed he washed the disciples' feet, man. And they was asking him, why you washing our feet? You are our Lord and Savior. He said, no. We got to be humble to each other, man. We got to learn how to submit to each other. That was the brotherhood. That was what the culture was all about. Not only having your wives submit to you and not only being a ruler over the other nations, but we got to submit to each other. A lot of brothers don't know about submission. A lot of brothers don't know about humility. But that's what makes you honorable. That's what makes you honorable. Because pride is at an all-time high. Didn't they just have so-called Pride Month? That's folly, man. The Lord hates pride. So you're going to dedicate a whole 30 days to that? You're finished. Take my yoke upon you and lean of me and learn of me. Salakia. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. For I am meek and lowly in heart. You shall find rest in your souls. Don't brothers want rest, man? Ain't brothers tired of working laborious hours and stretching out their lower back and hurting their legs and knees and thighs? And don't you want rest? Right? Don't you want rest from this wicked world, from this wickedness? Right? So all you got to do is humble yourself. Take the yoke, man. Take the yoke and bear it upon your neck. Take the chains, man, of this truth, of this knowledge, man. Verse 30, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. That's not a it don't sound like a bad thing to be in submission to me. The yoke is easy and the burden is light. Right? All praises to the Most High. All right, let's get 1 Peter chapter 2. And Satan was trying hard as hell to not let this lesson come out. I'm gonna let y'all know that Satan was trying hard, man. But we gonna do it. We're gonna talk about it today. First Peter chapter 2 and verse 15. For so is the will of God, that with well doing ye may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men. Or Salakia. It's verse 13 is what I meant to go to. Verse 13. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 13. Submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the Lord's sake, whether it be to the king as supreme or unto governors as unto them that are sent by him for the punishment of evildoers, for the praise of them that do well. For so is the will of God, that with well doing ye may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men. Right? So it is, and now Peter, he gonna go into Yahushua as well. He started talking about how he suffered for things that he didn't do. He took upon the sins of Israel, man. And that's another thing that make the Lord humble. We have to be living examples of Yahushua and this truth, man, and this knowledge. The same things that he bore and the same things that he carried, the labor that he did, we have to do the same thing. We have to be a cutout copy of what he was, man. It's very important, right? But just touching on what Peter just said, he said, submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the Lord's sake, whether it be to the king as supreme or unto governors as unto them that are sent by him for the punishment of evildoers. Right? So brothers might think that you just got to submit yourselves to to the righteous, right? But Peter letting you know, no, submit yourselves to every ordinance of man. You got a landlord, right? We got kings in the land. We got this and that. We got to submit ourselves to every ordinance of man. We have to learn submission. That's key to getting the kingdom, man. You have to be humble, honor and humility. Honor shall uphold the lowly. So like it. To say, and for the praise of them that do well. For so is the will of God, that with well doing you may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men. Right? He's saying, so if you humble, then you're gonna put to silence what they talking about, man. People might try to scoff you on his word, man. You know. But if you humble it, you blameless. You don't have no blemish on your garment. They ain't got nothing to say. You have put to silence the ignorance of foolish men. You so humble that they ain't have nothing to say. Verse 16, as free and not using your liberty for a cloak of maliciousness, but as servants of God, man. We servants of God. We servants of God, man. That's what it's about. We all servants. We all servants. We got to serve each other and we got to serve God. So once we get in this state of mind and then the culture is reestablished, that Hebrew culture is reestablished. And now we taking the kingdom, man. The saints going to take the kingdom through humility, right? Let's get a couple more. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 25. Shalakia. Tweaking. Psalm chapter 25 and verse 8. Oh yeah. The point is verse 9. It says, verse 8. Good and upright is the Lord. Therefore will he teach sinners in a way. The meek will he guide in judgment, and the meek will he teach his way. Wait a minute. That last one put an exclamation mark on it. He said, the meek will he guide in judgment, and the meek will he teach his way. So if you ain't gonna learn the way, man, if you're not meek, if you're not humble, if you're not low, you exalting yourself, and that make you an enemy with God, man. You ain't, because if you get into idolatry, you into self-idolatry and self-worship, then you got another God before the Most High God, Yahweh. And that makes you the opposite of meek. You're prideful, you're proud, right? But those of us who understand meekness, he will teach us his ways, man, his commandments. He will teach us how to stay afloat in this wicked world. It's very important. All right, let's get a couple more. I want to get Philippians 2 and 3. I want to get Philippians 2 and 3. This is Philippians 2 and 3. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind. Let each esteem other better than themselves. So let us esteem one another better than our own selves, man. Don't look at another brother just because he got a speech impediment, or he might not be swift on the scriptures like you, or he might not be. He might not have the precepts like you. So every brother got their own operations and their own part of the body. You the arm, I'm the leg. We come together. So let us deal with one another in lowliness of mind. Let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay? Well, that one right there is a Mashiach Yahushua. But still, let us mind the things of others, man. Let us look to help other brothers and do what's right in the eyes of the Lord, in the humble meekness way, in the lowly way. All right? Everything ain't gotta be so. I'm the king and I'm the teacher, I'm this and I'm that. Well, if you this and you that, then who is the Most High God and who is his only begotten Son, man? We all one in this truth. We all one in this knowledge. We a body. And let's see if I can get 1 Peter. 1 Peter 5. 1 Peter 5 and 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. Right? So, over and over again, it's letting you know, the Lord will exalt those who are humble in this day. Right? If you prideful in this day, you're done. You won't be you're gonna be looked at as the least in the kingdom. So, man, walk with your head on the swivel and understand submission and humility, because it'll take you a long way. Especially when you're in these scriptures, man. It ain't no room to be prideful in these scriptures. We got to deal with each other in a lowly manner. And with that, I'm gonna end the lesson. I just wanted to give you brothers a quick snack, milk. And I want to praise my God at the end, because I give all glory and praise to the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and Shalom.